the captains will face off. Sidney Crosby against Nico Hischier. We're underway. Timo Meier is on the ice. He scored a pair of goals. Crosby along the boards, and out come fresh legs. Brandon Hagel's on the ice. Stone turns back, heads to the bench as Theodore sends that.
That was a post?
Off the glove. Wow.
Oh, and Logan Thompson goes Snow Angel. That's after this wrister goes post and down. Wow. No goal. Schmid win.
Here's Nick Suzuki, and out breaks 3-on-1. It's Dennis Malkin across Dino Niederreiter and Logan Thompson with a highlight reel save. A minute 26 in. McCarr to McKinnon. Back to McCarr. McDavid's on the right flank, and it's a McKinnon shot kicked away. Puck played to the line, but kept alive by Reinhart. Reinhart goes to the bumper spot, rink wide, McDavid scores! Power play goal, Connor McDavid. Canada strikes first.
Pick it up right where he left off. Game one. Shooting mentality. Had so many attempts in game one against Czechia. And this one, when Nathan McKinnon throws.
Fiala lost the puck, turns it over. Sidney Crosby in. Crosby! And what a stop! Is that the Scorpion save for Schmid?
That looks Scorpion-like to me, CC.
That you can build upon because the level is only going to continue to go up for everybody the deeper the tournament goes on. They set a pretty high bar for themselves.
After I left, we just missed crossing paths.
That was a tough guy to replace. Here's a chance for Yossi, and Meier looked for the rebound. Hagel gets it loose. McKinnon tries to center. Parayko. Nathan McKinnon in front, and Schmid with a big stop. The Richter scale bumped by Connor McDavid, who's off and running here with Wilson on the right side. Back to McDavid. Calling for it is Harley. Scores! Led the team in time on ice last night and puts them ahead 2-0 here tonight.
The breakout and the pace up the ice from everybody on Canada causing problems. Harley to the two Swiss back checker.
Kurashev unable to get that back door. And Draghetto again. And a 4-goal game in the World Championship a couple years ago against Germany. That one off the post scores. Power play goal, and the Swiss are on the board. So Pius Suter strikes on the power play. Travis Sanheim up ahead, Wilson. And that's cut off. Here comes Fiala in. Fiala and Thompson. That's a big stop after the Swiss had just scored. Too hot for him to handle. And Draghetto. Niederreiter. And it's deep into Team Canada ice. Lost there. Thompson has to get on that quickly. Darcy Kemper sitting beside you, yes? And that'll be covered by Thompson.
Logan Thompson.
Now Colton Parayko. Back around. Crosby. Great pivot in front. Back door. Off the side of the net. And Crosby again. That may have glanced off Draghetto and went wide. A couple close calls. That's a high stick that Macklin Celebrini.
The McKinnon out here.
And here is McKinnon taking the handoff from Celebrini. At the line. Harley. And that goes off Schmid to the corner. It's Fiala at the line, and Harley slowed him up. Parayko missed it. Meier with a wraparound try. That'll come to Siegenthaler off the skate to Meier. Here's McCarr. That one bounced off the stick. That's Crosby, not McDavid. I should know that. Was wondering if they were switching something up. Gathers that. Cycles it back. Suter to Riat. Rehab shot, and he missed the target. Off the ledge and down for Andrighetto. It's a pass in front, Kurashev setting up Suter, looking for his second. McDavid after the penalty kill. And a pass for McDavid in front. And that bounced off a stick. McDavid's got it back again. Looking to center. That bounced back in the corner. Jet scores! Macklin Celebrini's got his second. And Team Canada restores a 2-goal lead.
For push post kill. And David tries to find a couple people. Eventually turns over, and the quick hands from McKinnon to knock it down and then pop it out to Celebrini, who's so good at finding space and releasing the puck. Niederreiter too deep. And
centering pass broken up, and McDavid bounced into the boards. Makar midpoint. McKinnon downhill. McKinnon off the glove of Schmid. David trying to lead the tournament in points and hits and shoots. And a rebound comes out front, and Schmid's away. Trying to play it past Makar, and Makar recovers. Looking up ice. Just over a half minute remaining in the power play. Crosby knocked down by Yossi. And here comes Nico Hischier, short-handed. And Thompson. Harley. Hagel, Suzuki. Wilson parked in front there. So Suzuki takes a turn at center. Over the line, Andrighetto, and Yossi steps up. Here's Roman Yossi centering it. Andrighetto a chance, and Logan Thompson. Past Harley. McDavid checks in. He might be loose. He's downhill to the net. And down is Schmid to make the stop on McDavid. Up to McDavid. Over the line it goes on the backhand. Harley, and Schmid took a peek over his shoulder, but has it.
60 minutes of good decisions. And
Bennett chops it out. On the move is Jarvis. Here's Seth Jarvis in, and Schmid with the stop. What a burst from Jarvis.
I think both Swiss defenders surprised at the pace that Jarvis turned the corner with. And they're both thinking, oh, we got a back check.
Runs over his man, and here is Celebrini dropping it off. It's Taves, and he missed. Stick side. Back the other way, and Suter playing it across, looking for Kurashev. Riyad out there on this line as he moves up. And it's Roman Yossi with a shot. Makar from a sharp angle. That one pulled down, and a hit by Reinhart. Bennett to Reinhart. His shot is stopped by Schmid. Got his own rebound. Suter's out. Jumping is Fora with Niederreiter. And Niederreiter off the bar. Niederreiter across, and Fora stopped, and we've got a pile up. Wilson. Now Stone cycles it into the corner for Crosby. Taves fires it across. Makar.
Corner release.
Tops of the stop. Pursuit of with Mike actually had a 3-2 lead against Czechia. They exploded for 3 goals in a span of 4:53 of the second period. Gave Czechia a scare, and that might be a message for Team Canada.
I think Cassie said it best. You want offense, but Canada needs to create their offense by playing good defense. If they focus on how they play without the puck,
their puck management and making smart plays, the talent will eventually overwhelm France. Chasing goals is often not the best way to score goals. So how Canada process that as they go along in this game will be important, how much they can win this game by.
So again, goal differential, the main focus. Unless the French do what they did in 2014 and shock Canada at the World Championships in that game. 3-2 shootout. Stefan DaCosta's in the lineup for France. He had 2 goals. And Pierre-Edouard Bellemare had the shootout decider. For the first time in the tournament, Connor McDavid will face off to start. And back with Tom Wilson and Macklin Celebrini up against the line that kickstarted France yesterday. Bertrand Boudin are on the ice for France, and they tallied all 3 goals against Czechia. Back to the line it goes. Devon Toews sends it wide. Gil Makar laid it in behind the net. McDavid looks for it there. McDavid coming off back-to-back 3-point games. Bosk will fire it over the head of Makar down the ice, and both teams make their first changes of the game. Here comes Toews. Nathan McKinnon back at center, at least to start this game. He's got Nick Suzuki on one wing and Brandon Hagel on the other. Here's Suzuki into French territory, and McKinnon with a little tap. Trying to get that to the net. Suzuki comes up with it. Back to Thomas Harley, who scored in the last game. Suzuki puts it right on. Rebound to McKinnon. Here's a Hagel shot. And Julian Junka's got that.
Good starts for Canada. Getting the puck in deep. Getting to the puck on retrievals, and then getting it down to Junka, who knows he will be very busy throughout this game. Nick Suzuki back on the wing. Finds McKinnon dashing through. Doesn't get enough quite on that tip to trouble Junka. He's trying to go underneath it and ends up just poking it along the ice.
Off the face-off, Marner whipped it wide. Drew Doughty steps up. Here's Sidney Crosby, who scored against Junka at the World Championships last year. So did Horvat. Crosby trying to put that through off the leg and wide. Early pressure, Marner unable to get that to Stone. Now Crosby, nifty touch, and a shot right on, and Junka got enough of that. Intense pressure to start. Nicholas Ritz for France. He'll hand it off. Pierre Trinon ahead. That's Jordan Perret back in the lineup. Did not play against Czechia yesterday. And here is Perret. Nice move to the inside. Perret going deep into Team Canada territory. Bosk moves up, takes a hit. Sasha Trey, one of those mutants Kevin talked about, a big guy. His brother, the head coach of the team, it'll come back to the line, and Jordan Binnington gets his first touch of the day.
Jordan Binnington had last game off after a really good performance in the first game against Czechia, and he gets his first touch. Not as good as that first touch, though, from Sidney Crosby. A little tip back to Drew Doughty for a point shot. Staying patient will be the order of the day for Canada as this game is scoreless, as they're pushing offensively until they start to score 1 or 2.
Sam Bennett wins the draw. He'll center a line today with his Florida Panther teammate Sam Reinhart, and Seth Jarvis, who caught our eye in his first game against Czechia, or against Switzerland, excuse me. Here come the French down the ice. It's Alex Tessier, and his pass for Bertrand doesn't work.
Too many guys on the ice there for France for about 5 seconds on the rush.
Texier trying to get going offensively. He'll work his way in, gets it knocked off his stick, and Harley will reload with Toews. Rick wide it goes. Celebrini will send it in. Hugo Gallet is back. Harley steps up. McDavid centers. Celebrini took a shot in the chops, and the puck sent back to the Team Canada line. Harley hands it off. Here's Tom Wilson. Junka out to play that. He'll fire that the length of the ice. And that's icing against France.
And Canadian bench erupted there on the high stick up near Celebrini. And a good defensive play by Sam Reinhart, one of the best defensive wingers in the entire NHL. He's back. He's aware that Bertrand's right behind him. Stick on the ice. Know where the pass is coming from and where it's going. It's for a good defensive player.
So McKinnon, Hagel out on the ice along with Suzuki. McKinnon scored in each game. Suzuki has a goal. But as a unit, they're still looking to gel a little bit more. Doughty fires it in. It'll come around McKinnon. He got checked. Boss with an outlet. Hagel trying to get it back. McKinnon along the boards. That's Trade. Trying to scrape it loose, and it'll come back to the Team Canada line. Doughty and Theodore together right now. Out comes Crosby. Doughty in his third Olympic Games with the pass. Marner got checked along the boards, and back comes France. There's Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. And a shot goes wide. Puck at the side of the net, and it'll come in behind where Bellemare's tied up with Theodore. Back to the line, and that shot with traffic in front. Turned aside by Binnington. Anthony Reck rolling it back in. There's Bellemare. Bumped and knocked down by Doughty. Looking for Crosby, and it rolls out to center ice. French have been outshot 81-38 in the first two games of this tournament. Makar sends it in. After it is Jarvis. Bo Horvat comes out. So Horvat's the 13th forward. Looks like they might shuttle Horvat and Bennett on this fourth line.
So one of the real question marks for Canada coming in, the goaltending. Well, so far, albeit in a very small sample size, save percentage, Canada heads and tails the best. Jordan Binnington was fantastic, followed up by a really good game for Logan Thompson. And playing for Canada, you probably don't see quite as many good chances against. But certainly Jordan Binnington has a knack for rising to the occasion, and this is a big occasion.
And there's a face-off win and a hot shot right on. Junka looks sharp on that. Now Makar. He'll fire it across, looking for Jarvis. Rick wide again. Makar kept it in. Gets a second chance to go to the net.
Post.
Put off the post. Close call for Cale Makar. Horvat digs it out. Here's Horvat centering it. Trying to go backdoor for Jarvis, and that was broken up. Here's Reinhart stepping into his man and knocking him down. Rans up with a puck. Jarvis disrupting that. Gallet goes after him. He scored the go-ahead goal. Here's a centering pass. Wilson in front, and he passed off as well. Back to Taves. Wilson leaves it for Makar. Fires that, and Julien Junka holds on.
Good chances. Cale Makar activating. He's talking to Kyle Raymond. This is so interesting because Kyle Raymond's the official out in the neutral zone. And first off, Sam Reinhart off the faceoff. That's a good save by Junka, well out of his net. But on this hook right there, Kyle Raymond put his hand in the air to call the penalty. Jordan Binnington was coming to the bench, and then he put it back down after Makar made his shot and hit the post.
Raymond and Christopher Holmes, Sweden, are the referees for this game. Kept in at the line. Harley sends it deep. Knocked off Wilson's stick. Macklin Celebrini got taken down there. That will be a penalty. Pierre Crinault will get the first penalty of this game.
First penalty not called on Cale Makar. It was going to be right about now. It wasn't, but the next one will.
She scoops. She scores!
Spooner! Nordica. My protein play every day. For the days when you just don't wanna, there's McDelivery. Order on the McD's app to earn points and get a $0 delivery fee. An 11% service fee and $2 small order fee still apply.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Canada looking to open the scoring as they go to the power play. Pierre Crénon heads to the penalty box as he gets caught for tugging on Macklin Celebrini on the boards. And on the hip sends him down. So Canada, who are 2 for 5. It was McKinnon in the first game against Czechia. It was Connor McDavid against Switzerland on the power play. They try to open what they hope will be the floodgates with the man advantage.
Grenault in the box still agitated about that call.
It's timely given the other one they didn't call.
So here we go. Canada has a power play goal in each of their first 2 games. Makar sends it across, and that one Junka out of the net to get a piece of that. And back comes Bellemare. Bellemare and Texier on the penalty kill for France. And Texier is going to skate back and try and play keep away. Gallet ahead, and he'll send it down. So Makar at the wheel, 30 seconds into the power play, and here comes Connor McDavid. Over the line, that's too far for Crosby. McDavid will get on it first. Now McKinnon. Found it there, but continues on. Back up top to his Avalanche teammate. Rick wide, great pass in front. And that one just missed. Back door for McDavid from Crosby. Almost a break there for Boudon, but the puck slides to Binnington. Fun to watch this group throw it around in the offensive zone. That was a great pass from McKinnon to Crosby and nearly a finish for McDavid. Now back to Crosby again. Makar to McKinnon. McKinnon down low. Reinhardt trying to spin. It'll come back to McKinnon. And that was, I think, off the defenseman Gallet. Off the shaft of his stick with an open net. Did Makar keep it in? No. And offside called.
You can't get many better looks than what Canada generated on that power play. Minute and a half gone, no goals, but plenty of golden chances. Sidney Crosby tries to find McDavid. He goes into the net, tumbles over top of Junka, but makes sure not to take a penalty while doing so. Here's Nathan McKinnon. And you're right, Gallet takes the wide open net, goes down low and blocks it. Would have been a sure goal. With every passing minute, stress to Canada goes up a little bit as they not only want to score to go ahead, but they want to score because they want to score a lot.
I was going to ask you only 8 minutes in, but at what point do you start to press a little to make sure you get on the board? Here comes Macklin Celebrini. Over the line, Marner. Second unit gets a little bit of time here, but running out of it. Marner takes a look, bump there, and Junka again on Bo Horvat in the bumper spot.
That's where Bo Horvat scored last year at the World Championships on that bumper spot. And Junka looks solid so far. Good in-tight passing. Mark Stone kicked it out. Bo Horvat trying to keep his stick loose, but not able to find a corner. Just gets it center-ish of the net.
Julien Henri Miguel Junka. It's his birthday. Mentioned yesterday, he is a dual citizen. He grew up in Spain on a farm on the French-Spanish border. Actually born in a hospital in France. Now he tried to get that through, and it hit Junka. And McDavid couldn't find the loose puck at the side. Wilson comes up with it. He'll fire it back. Downey shooting. Kicked away. Rebound, scores! Tom Wilson on the board.
That's Tom Wilson. Wilson's kind of goal. He needs that to feel good about his game. Forecheck, win a physical battle, and get to the front of the net. He does them all. As puck is worked out right there as Wilson knocks the cost off the puck, gets it out to Drew Doughty, then turns back to the net. Doughty, I don't know if this pass off the pads or not, but he puts it down low where Junka can't control it. And Tom Wilson gets his first Olympic goal and a smile. Or his version of a smile.
Well, John Cooper does say he can light up the room, and he has certainly been a positive force behind the scenes, and now he's on the score sheet as well. That, by the way, the first assist for Doughty in the tournament. Here's a chance, rebound, scores! And France has come right back on a goal by Flurry and Douay. 13 seconds later, a stunning return of fire by the French.
The fourth line goes to work. You quote Parayko, that is a terrible pass. Just not very on it. And then he gets back to the front of the net, staring at the puck. Doesn't look for Douay's stick. Gets past his skate. And Douay able to corral the rebound and throw it in the empty net. But just a really tough turnover for Parayko. Kicked it right out to Adamo. And the rebound, similar kind of goal to Tom Wilson. Pass off the pads and a rebound to tie it up.
It's a fourth line goal for France, and the first time Jordan Binnington has surrendered a goal in this tournament. So a short-lived celebration for Team Canada. Back to even in the goal differential. Here comes Crosby over the line. On the move is Taves working in. Marner can't reach it. Knocked away, and Bertrand starts back. Here's Bertrand. He corkscrews himself into the ice.
Got three.
And yes, it'll be Crosby. It'll be Stone. And Taves. Come on, Taves scores. And maybe the shootout's begun. An answer 39 seconds after the French had tied it.
Maybe it is the floodgates. As Makar pokes it out, Cale Makar gets it to Crosby. Crosby kicks it back to Devon Taves. And what's great about Taves here, he doesn't try to overpass. He doesn't try to thread one to the back door. He says, I'm 20 feet away. I got it. I could shoot and score from here. And he goes blocker side underneath the arm of Junka. And Canada right back in front again.
Second goal by a Team Canada defenseman. Harley scoring against Czechia. So the goals at 8:41, 8:54, and 9:33. And Cale Makar also gets an assist on the go-ahead goal. At the line, Doughty, who got the primary on the first Team Canada goal. It'll be Theodore sending it to Doughty and back. Swung in along the boards, and Sam Bennett on that other side for Jarvis. Cycled back towards Bennett. Takes it off the shoulder and pulls it down. He gets tied up along the boards. Jarvis helping out. Bennett without a helmet, so he has to go off. So Connor McDavid comes on early. They'll change, and Tom Wilson joins him. An outlet here on the right side. DaCosta missed the hit from Wilson. Now France takes over. Pumped back by Johan Ovitu. Ovitu, a former Edmonton Oiler. Couldn't get it out. It's kept in. Swing and a miss, Celebrini. Parayko, a drive wide. Macklin Celebrini along the boards. Skates away from Fabre. That one popped up off a stick. And Fabre and Belmar get it up for France. Just under 9 minutes left in this first period. Parayko ahead. Here's Harley. Wanted to get it back to McDavid, who I think was going to peel off and head to the bench on a change. And Harley flattens Perret. Thomas Harley center. Cut off by Gallet. Picked off by Hagel. And Team Canada regroups. Nathan McKinnon calling for it. He's got it now. Along with Brandon Hagel in deep. Around it goes to the far side. It's left there by Suzuki. Shot goes wide. Stepping up Sanheim. In behind the net for McKinnon. That was broken up by Gallet. Hagel along the boards. Worked over by Trey. In the corner, McKinnon. One hands to Suzuki. At the line, Doughty. McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon with the shot wide. Suzuki at the side of the net. And Shunka will cover up. Well, a burst of goals there. And Devon Teves shoots Team Canada back into the lead.
I want you.
The Hyundai Elantra inspires a special type of love. The type that goes the distance. That always stays on your mind. And still takes your breath away after all this time. It's that Hyundai Elantra type of love.
When you play the lottery with OLG, you sponsor Ontario athletes. Your play supports athletes from your community.
Winner, gagnant.
Ron mentioned John Cooper's post-game huddle at the bench with Canada. Here's a look at what the pre-game message looks like. These are the game day rooms the players move to just before warm-up. The bigger dressing rooms are over on the practice rink side. They retreat to these for the intermission as well. It is an intimate setting for a coach's address. The message today from Cooper was this game sets up the next one for Canada, wanting to continue to build on the good habits when the medal round begins in a few days, Chris.
They'll get a day off tomorrow. And the qualification round will be the next day. Team Canada a bye into the quarterfinals, winning their group. Should mention, Mike, that goal by France, that's the first even strength goal against Team Canada. Here's a chance here, and Shunka's got that.
Don't want too many firsts for France there if you're a Canadian fan. Is you know what I can say is keeping his guys engaged in that goal to tie it up. So important for their energy, for their belief to hang in there. When it snowballs on France, it can get going downhill, but if they hang around, they can be difficult.
That win at the World Championships had Cristobal Huet in goal, and as you saw, he is now an assistant coach for France.
But not the goalie coach. He's an assistant coach.
That's a little... Well, don't see that as much. Instead, former goaltenders as head coaches.
We played together in Montreal. He always used to tell me what to do.
Here's Taves sending it in. After it, Crosby. Unable to redirect that. And here comes Texier. Alex Texier working against Harley in deep. Fired it in front. Bennett picked it off. And now Stone to help out. Up ahead, Horvat. It's a different group here for Team Canada. Horvat's in. Oh, Horvat. Cycle it back for Bennett. With Reinhardt. The centering pass. And Shunka will cover.
John Cooper continues to tinker with the bottom part of his lineup. He does have 13 forwards to work with. Sometimes it's Jarvis. This time it was Horvat. And it's not just about getting guys ice time and get everyone in the game. I think John Cooper's looking for combinations that give him consistent offensive play from further down. Hasn't really happened yet for Bennett and Reinhardt when they've been together. Maybe with Horvat it can.
Brad Marchand not in the lineup today, and Josh Morrissey, who Ron mentioned, skated earlier and is expected to be available later in this tournament. Bennett turns it back in. Swings it around to Reinhardt's side. Following up is Horvath. France with the puck is Ritz, surrounded by two Team Canada players. Still battling for it. And that flipped over the glass and out of play.
France has done a good job of staying under control, keeping guys back. The only really clean odd man rush was the Taves goal. And John Cooper knew that this was going to be a tricky game. You go in expecting to win, but also the pressure to win by a lot, which is an unusual situation to be in.
Said he wasn't crazy about the first period against Switzerland.
He didn't like puck management. He won't like the puck management on that goal against either. Look out. Travis Sanheim almost got smoked by Tom Wilson.
Dewey was the intended target. He took a look at Wilson. Dewey, the goal scorer for France. He's 6'3", 216. He's usually delivering big hits. McDavid, Doughty, Taves back to Doughty. Both on the score sheet already. That'll be chipped towards Celebrini. Broken up now. Celebrini gets it back. In for Wilson. Devon Taves. That goes deep to the side of the net. Jinka gonna reel that in and cover up. So 5.5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Canada and France.
The BetRivers app welcomes players like you with an online casino experience unlike any other. Come. From big wins to lots of spins, there are spinfinite ways to play. With thousands of popular and exclusive games, our slots can run hot. Plus, throw in the excitement of live table games like blackjack and roulette for the ultimate playcation. BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
The journey to glory begins with grit. They say greatness is a lonely road, but look closer. At Nulo, we stand with the silent teammates, the ones who never miss a send-off and are always there for the welcome home. They remind us to breathe, to rest, to carry on. Nulo fuels the pets who fuel their people, because behind every champion is a teammate who believed in them first. Nulo, fuel incredible.
We have been celebrating the greatness of Sidney Crosby, which is ongoing. And with the assist on the Taves goal, he now is just 1 point behind Jerome McGinley for most points in the NHL era for Team Canada. And a good chance he gets that done today.
At the Olympics, World Championships, 4 nations, Canada is 55-8 with Sidney Crosby in the lineup. By the way, we'll be adding Connor McDavid to that list very soon. He has an assist in this game. So 3-game point streak, 7 points already. The leader in Olympic scoring. Here's Makar, his shot, and that'll get absorbed by Junka.
France, in their own end, really collapses down in the slot trying to tie up the front of the net. So you're going to see a lot of pucks to the point for Canada, and then either shots for rebounds, tips, traffic. If Canada can get some sticks on these point shots, they'll like their chances.
A face-off one, and Makar dancing at the line. Got that to Wilson. Gloved down by McDavid. Trying to get it to Celebrini. And pushed ahead Texier. Sends away Boudin and Bertrand. And turned back by Taves. Thierry back in the French lineup. He takes the spot of Enzo Cantagallo, who got leveled by Ratko Gudas in the game yesterday and is not able to play today. Here's Hagel looking across, Suzuki over the line. Nick Suzuki in and got tied up there, and Belmar will take over. Hagel cuts him off. Back to the line for Harley. Pareko and Hagel in front, and the pass ramped off a stick. 40-year-old Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, actually soon to be 41, the oldest player in the tournament. Inspired to play after watching hockey for the very first time on TV when the Albertville Olympic Games were on. That one almost knocked down at the line by Stone, but out comes France. Fabre's got some speed. He'll play it around to the far side. Perret is there. Fabre gets it back to the line. Look out! Here's a break. Mitch Marner's in. He'll turn, and it's Mark Stone, and he had it slide off his stick. Little Vegas Golden Knight chemistry there.
That would have been such a typical Mark Stone goal. Slow and effective.
Back goes Stone into the zone. Driving the lane. The shot was kicked away. Jumping up with Shea Theodore. Gallet, right wing pass, and Trey will knock it in. Bennington behind his net does some stick handling. Bennett back around to McCarr. Up ahead, that knocked off the stick of Jarvis. Back into the zone, they'll call that offside.
Mark Stone takes the drop pass. Here's Mitch Marner, jumps on this loose puck. He knows he doesn't have an angle, so he's trying to draw both guys in. He's got to stop and kick it back to Stone. Tucks it under the stick, trying to go back against the grain. Junko was there, paddle down. Foot on the post, not a lot of room for Stone to tuck it.
Junko spends some time with the Chicago Wolves. He plays in Slovakia. Stopped 31 of 36 in the World Championships against Canada. The first time he has faced the likes of Crosby in the lineup, Horvat, Celebrini. Pass ahead, dumped in by Boudon. Wrapped around by McCarr. Looks like it almost came out. And a check made, and here goes Team Canada. 3-on-2. Jarvis for McDavid. Cutting inside and back across, and he put that one behind Sam Reinhart. Out comes Bellemare. Captain of the French team turned it over and flipped right back out. Celebrini charging after it. Puts Bosk in a bad spot, and now Bosk able to get away. Boy, that hustle by Celebrini, you saw it create a goal in the game yesterday.
Got McKinnon out here late in this period like he did last game.
90 seconds to go. Here's McDavid trying to fire that across, and McKinnon was loose, but the puck broken up by Gallet. He'll start back and send it deep. After it is Perret. David was held on to, or is he the holder, as a penalty coming up against Team Canada? Who's it going to be?
It'll be Sanheim when it's all said and done.
And it will be a French power play upcoming.
Penalty number 6, 2-minute minor for holding.
Travis Sanheim, who had not had many shifts in the first period, and been largely playing just the sixth defenseman. And he loses body position on Jordan Perret, who is quick. And David and Perret get all tangled up, but it really was behind the net right here. As Sanheim reaching out on Perret. So France, trailing just by one, head to a power play late in the first.
They're 1 for 6, but they also allowed maybe the most talked about shorthanded goal in the history of the Olympic Games, as they gave up a 3-on-0 breakaway while on a power play. And nobody can remember ever seeing that at this level. But a chance to tie it here with a man advantage as Alex Texier plays it back. That's OB2 and a shot gloved by Bennington here in the final minute of the opening period.
You see a big Sacha Trey standing in front of Jordan Bennington. He is a large forward to take away the line of sight. So there's going to park 77 white in front of Binnington and then just sift pucks down there whenever they can and take their chances.
Saint-Louis, 6'4", 214, 38 years of age.
214 seems light in person.
He is large. Saw Bellemare there talking about the goal of this French team to earn respect. I think they did yesterday against Czechia, and that respect will continue here through 20 minutes of play. Pareko arms it around, that gets past Bellemare and down the ice. OV2 kicks it back. Here's DaCosta. Texier. And that's stolen by Stone. Mark Stone's in. Looking for a short-handed goal. Scores! And Canada has a 2-goal lead.
Mark Stone with that great stick in the neutral zone, laughing at his breakaway speed. The guys on the bench are laughing about his breakaway speed. But he was fast enough, like he always is. Texier, top turnover there. Bosk is trying to catch him. Mark Stone protects it. I don't know, maybe fans on that one as he cuts underneath it, but he gets it above the pad and below the glove of Junka, and that's a huge goal, Chris. Make it 3, just 3 seconds left on the clock. You weren't sure if he's going to get caught and get the shot away. But he is just fast enough to be wherever he needs to be, whenever he needs to get there.
Always talked about his speed, but Bosk did not close any ground on Mark Stone. 1956. Time of the goal that gives Team Canada a 2-goal lead. So Tom Wilson, Devon Taves, and Mark Stone, the goal scorers for Canada. Shot 17-6 after 1.
Dear James, there's nothing you love more than skiing. But what you don't know yet is how far you'll go. So when you get to the top, be sure to enjoy the view.
Welcome to your new home.
Mais il est trop chou. He understands French.
Be careful around Fitz. Donnie's got a lot of demons that tend to appear when no one expects it.
St. Pierre on CBC and CBC Gem.
Here we go. It's a thing of beauty.
I don't believe it. That might do it. Oh my goodness.
That was huge.
Holy smokes. Who saw this coming?
Welcome to the Olympics.
I just MailChimp my marketing.
You MailChimp your what?
I just MailChimp my marketing with MailChimp's new Shopify integration, turning data into more revenue.
I just MailChimp improved my orders by 9 times using real-time behavior data.
I just added SMS across 10 different countries from the same account.
Got him.
9?
MailChimp my marketing, the
Now my reach and revenue are through the MailChimpin' roof.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
So I ask you, what was the highlight of the first period for you? The 3 and 52 seconds. That has never happened in NHL participation Olympics. Sidney Crosby, the one-touch pass, or that little nifty goal, Zuccarello-like by Mark Stone? Cassie called that. 4 shots of the 17 for Mark in that first period. So, France. We were in France in Albertville in 1992, and Canada met Germany in the quarterfinal. It went to a shootout. Lindros was denied. Archibald was denied. And so at that moment, it's kind of getting critical, right? Dave King decided to go with his third shooter, this man, Jason Woolley. Why is that interesting? He's a defenseman. They chose a defenseman. How'll he do? Not too shabby. High glove, top shelf. Canada would win that game, go on to win a silver medal. Jason Woolley, the only other defenseman ever to be involved in a shootout in the Olympics is Ray Bourque. You know what happened there. But here's Cale Makar. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. Here comes Taves. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. So the moral of that story is, James, you Zuccarello-like by Mark Stone. Cassie called that. 4 shots of the 17 for Mark in that first period. So, France. We were in France in Albertville in 1992, and Canada met Germany in the quarterfinal. It went to a shootout. Lindros was denied. Archibald was denied. And so at that moment, it's kind of getting critical, right? Dave King decided to go with his third shooter, this man, Jason Woolley. Why is that interesting? He's a defenseman. They chose a defenseman. How'll he do? Not too shabby. High glove, top shelf. Canada would win that game, go on to win a silver medal. Jason Woolley, the only other defenseman ever to be involved in a shootout in the Olympics is Ray Bourque. You know what happened there. But here's Cale Makar. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. Here comes Taves. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. So the moral of that story is, James, you... It's kind of getting critical, right? Dave King decided to go with his third shooter, this man, Jason Woolley. Why is that interesting? He's a defenseman. They chose a defenseman. How'll he do? Not too shabby. High glove, top shelf. Canada would win that game, go on to win a silver medal. Jason Woolley, the only other defenseman ever to be involved in a shootout in the Olympics is Ray Bourque. You know what happened there. But here's Cale Makar. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. Here comes Taves. What does he try? High glove, top shelf. So the moral of that story is, James, you...
That Mark Stone should not have been on this team.
I didn't say the L word. You said the L word. I'm between you guys. I'm going to back up. There you go.
I think you actually looked at him and did the
I
old
did.
thing,
Maybe I did.
thing on
Yeah.
the forehead.
Yeah.
John Cooper's done so much in his career with the Cups and Four Nations that we almost forget this is his first Olympics. He's a rookie as a head coach here, but not acting like it.
Well, Kyle Bukauskas did a hit about the dressing room, so let's take a listen in to see what John Cooper actually said.
Don't look at anything. We just get better as a team. That's it. This game, just like your shift should set up the next shift, this game should set up our next game. That's all we're worried about. Right? Period of time.
And it's really like an investment in your future. But look at him coming out to the bench, just completely relaxed, probably looking to the right there where most of the family are sitting. And it's interesting, you know, that coaching staff, they didn't take the charter over. They all came in early after their NHL games were over. It was about 2 days beforehand. And all they did was go over scenarios and line combinations and all the things that they may face at these Olympic Games, and really got connected as a coaching staff. But I love the sense that he's talking about investment in our future, because as you guys mentioned off the top of the show, no one wants to play Sweden in the quarterfinal.
Probably doesn't love every minute of that first period, including one really bad 15-second span with Colton Parayko, but you were watching the reaction to it more.
I think the key is, like, if you overreacted to every time somebody did something wrong on this panel, there would be a lot of criticism. And this is a mistake by Parayko. He knows it, the coaches know it, Binnington knows it, and he actually misses the rebound here. So when he goes to the bench, I'm watching, okay, it's egregious. It's not Jeremy Swayman last night letting in a goal from the neutral zone, which I think everybody's seen by now. But it's a turnover, so watch Pete DeBoer. He comes over to him while Parayko was looking up at the Jumbotron at the replay. DeBoer was on the bench when we lost to France. McKinnon was on the bench, Sam Reinhart. They're familiar. Don't overreact. And then Parayko played well the rest of the period.
Kind of like,
do you think they showed DeBoer those highlights before the game like we showed you?
It's a little like Hellebuck with Swayman last night after he let in that goal from basically center ice. Okay, no Brad.
Before the game like we showed you?
It's a little like Hellebuck with Swayman last night after he let in that goal from basically center ice. Okay, no Brad. Last goal by Stone, as Chris and Mike said, critical to get the 2-goal lead after one, Ron.
Well, James, let's have another look at that goal. Chris on the call, and Mike obviously is his winger at this tournament. Beautiful backhander. Pay attention to backhander. Mike Johnson, you think he could do that? Well, absolutely. There's Mike Johnson. Chris Cuthbert's other winger is in his lazy boy with his angel food cake. Candle lit. Just blew out the candle, made his wish. Why? Craig Simpson. Happy birthday, Craig. We raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita. Hey, Craig. We raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita. Hey, Craig. We raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita. Hey, Craig. We raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita. Hey, Craig. We raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita. Okay, Craig, we raise a cup to you, and we'll continue our coverage and Olympic update with Perdita.
Barriers to sport and play. 100% of donations supported kids in local communities.
Diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
So, what's next for Kia Nerds?
What? All-star, analyst, and 3-time Olympian ain't enough for y'all? When you come from a family of athletes, you learn that to change the game.
You gotta rewrite the playbook.
Thanks, Dad. So, do you stick to more of the same? Or do you switch to a team that sees the bigger picture? So what's next? Well, the answer's in your hands. Gemini, where were we?
We were looking up bigger trophy cases. Want me to find a store nearby?
Time now to check in on the Google Pixel 10 Multi-View. It's day 9. And by the way, there will be 9 podiums decided today. Women's large hill ski jumping goes in about an hour. Set your clocks for that. It's a brand new event. Canada's contender, Abigail Strait. Mixed team skeleton begins. Jane Channel and Jacob Brusick, well, they'll team up for that. And starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, men's curling continues. Canada faces off with China. Olympic update. We're talking men's dual moguls. You know, this is a brand new event at the Winter Olympic Games, but it's not quite new to the athletes. They do it on the World Cup circuit. Mikhail Kingsbury, he has 5 world championships in that. A few days ago, 3 days ago exactly, he settled for silver. He won silver, I should say. But you know the king wants gold. What he needs to do, Mikhail already knows that he has it in the bag. Look at this reaction. He is so excited, ends his final Olympics with gold. He now has 2 gold medals, 3 silver, the most decorated freestyle athlete in history. My goodness, let's go now to snowboarding, women's slopestyle. The final, first time at bat, and she does it. Now, who had the highest score of the day in the qualies? Well, that honor goes to Zoe in the event. There she is, all happy. Light work, Canadians. We're so happy. Love to see it. All right, here's a look at long track. The women's 500 is underway. You just saw Erin Jackson. She's the one to beat, but more stars still to come. You can catch that on GEM.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Solid start for Canada. They face France 3-1 after the first. Second period starts when we return after the break.
Remember, it's pizza, then French fries. Pizza and French fries. That's it, you got this. Love you, kiddo.
Representing Canada is Laurent Saint-Germain.
Together is golden. McCain.
Decisions come in 2 flavors, smart and the kind you pretend you never made. Smart. Opening your GoSmart account to start trading in minutes? Smart. Making it rain with $10? Not smart. Commission-free trading? Smart. Getting a tattoo without checking the spelling? Oof, not smart. Smart. New from RBC Direct Investing.
CDC's coverage of the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 is brought to you by Ozempic. Save on your Ozempic prescription. Get your savings card at ozempic.ca.
Back in the Milano Santa Giulia Arena, 3-1, Canada leads France after one period of play, the final action of Group A. Okay, you are looking live at the media tribune inside the building. This is where the accredited press from around the world have all gathered to watch the games here throughout this tournament. You've got print media seated over here, broadcasters here. Sean Reynolds of Sportsnet is seated right down here. In the building, 18 different countries. The commentators are all here on site. Plenty more calling these games off of site. Chris Cuthbert, Jason Murdoch, our statistician, are seated just a little bit down here amongst the rows of broadcast setup here on this side of the building. Chris, over to you for the call of the second.
I'm the guy with the toque that's right under a cooling vent here. I can guarantee you the ice should be fast if it's as cool down there, Mike, as it is up here.
It is much warmer where I am than where you are. I guarantee it. And that's not just because of the action on the ice.
We taped down our notes as well. It's a little bit of a wind tunnel, but to be fair, it's a terrific building. And what a sensational day here in Milano. So we start the second. France is on the power play. And they've given up the shorthanded goal, the fourth of the tournament. A backhand goes wide. And Team Canada clears. That's two shorthanded goals against France in as many days. Louis Boudin winds it up. Drops it down. Late stages as Sanheim gets set to return. At the line, it's sent back into the corner. Boudin's got it. Fired it across. Anthony Reck trying to come up with that. He'll cycle it back. Ritz tied up. Parayko on him. Dropped off here, and OV2 with the shot. And it's dumped away, and now a race for it. Junka started to come out, but Perret able to get back ahead of Hagel to make sure there wasn't another Team Canada breakaway.
Celebrini McDavid close on checkers so quickly. Almost catch him by surprise.
17 in particular has been noticeable in that department. And an icing call against France.
And you can kind of cruise towards a defender and maybe try to read a passing lane with your stick, or you could just go out on full throttle and try to surprise him with the closing pace. And the only shot that France had on that last power play, this one to Binnington, who fights it off through the Thomas Harley attempted block, and a good save there.
Team Canada had 17 shots in the first period. That's the most they've had so far in the tournament. Makar sends it back across. Wilson sends it down towards McDavid. Here's Celebrini spinning away and giving it back to 97. Already an assist in the game. 7 points in the tournament. He'll look across, and that hit a stick with Makar moving in. Back down the ice. It is Fabre with the shot. Stick side. McDavid takes a bump. It comes to Makar, and now McDavid winds it up. Celebrini. He'll into the Makar, and a touch pass that Wilson missed. Feed and Crosby inside the line. Philly checked on the play by Marner. France gives it up, and Stone. Mark Stone can't track that down. Theodore does. He'll move it around to Crosby. Little room there to play it back. Downey and a blocker stop by Junka. Ritz turns back at center. Bruno. Outlet pass. Suzuki sends away McKinnon. Jumping up to Sanheim. And across, trying to go backdoor to Suzuki. Hagel Short outlet pass, Suzuki sends away McKinnon, jumping up to Sanheim, and across, trying to go backdoor to Suzuki.
That puck.
That just failed to click.
Gotta shoot that puck.
Back the other way, open two. Two NHLers together for France with Belmar, but it's taken away, and out comes Parayko, rolled inside the line. A battle for that puck, and Hugo Gallet will take over. Up ahead, that broken up by Harley. Here's Thomas Harley. Red line and in for Canada. Reinhardt looks for a loose puck. Following up is Jarvis. Sam Bennett centers this line. Ritz on the backhand. It'll be kept in by Reinhardt. Now a sharp angle across, and that bounced over the stick of Jarvis. Now a sharp angle across, and that bounced over the stick of Jarvis at the back post. Jarvis after it here against Thierry. It'll come out to Reinhardt, the shot, and Shunka. Team Canada looking for goals, even though they've got a 2-goal lead. Texier, that pass, broken up by Taves. Ron Taves. And now McDavid back to Taves. A little more room for McCarr. Up that right flank and deflected in by Celebrini. Brino, a short pass, that doesn't work. Wilson goes down. Boudon. Brino, a short pass, that doesn't work. Wilson goes down. Boudon. Bertrand, pass and a good one to Celebrini. Here's Celebrini, slaloming in front, and a penalty upcoming on a hooking call against France.
A good step through by Celebrini on the bank pass from McCarr. Find a way to isolate one-on-one situations.
Number 95 is a 2-minute minor for hooking.
Kevin Bolzon heads to the box. Get the puck to a blue line with McDavid flying through, and then let Celebrini go to work. There's the hook in the hands. Doesn't really slow Celebrini down that much as he gets it to Connor McDavid. McDavid again looks for the extra pass. Not available on the power play, which had some really good looks.
Bolzon, a great story for France, like his dad playing in the Olympic Games, although Philippe played in 4 Olympic Games in the IIHF Hall of Fame. There's Darcy Kemper, Brad Marchand, and Josh Morrissey looking on. So that first power play had a few looks, just one shot. As McKinnon digs in. Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon up front. Not even fair. McCarr and Reinhardt. Here's McKinnon. Working in, McDavid, or Crosby had it knocked off his stick and back out to center. 40 power play goals in the season in this top unit. Here is McDavid. He tried to sneak that in short side, but hit the side of the net. Crosby digs it back. McKinnon up with it. Perret knocked it away from him. Now brought down by Reinhardt, and it'll bounce out. They'll have to reset. Here's McKinnon. Works his way in, wants Crosby on the near side. Can't get loose, and good hand dive by McDavid to prevent that from going the length of the ice.
Not a very good power play right now for Canada. A lot of one-on-one stuff, not in sync.
Back in, Reinhardt loose. Here's Sam Reinhardt in behind the net. Had trouble controlling that. They're going to get another clear off the stick of the always reliable penalty killer, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Theodore ready. Stone to Theodore. Celebrini and Junka just got across in time. Had a little room there. Now Marner, penalty done. Marner put to the net, and Junka will cover. And Team Canada 0 for 2 on the power play so far in this game. Brad Marchand greeting his fans.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try a little help from my friends.
It takes a team.
Fronted by Ritz. Jordan Perret will send it inside Team Canada line. A little bank pass there. Reinhart checked on the play, and it'll roll back to Seth Jarvis. And Doughty redlining in. Reinhart looking for a recovery. It got by him. Sanheim sends it deep. Reinhart behind the net. And Sam Bennett failed to capitalize on that pass. Up ahead it goes, and OV2. A mobile defenseman for France is in deep. Jarvis trying to get it by the pinching Gallet. It'll come loose for Doughty, and he's got a little time.
A lot of this for France, though. It's like 2-on-2 they play in the neutral zone, and it's getting a lot of dump-ins, but the retrievals haven't been as easy.
Gallet up ahead. Fabre inside the line, knocked off his stick. Team Canada will try and jam up that smaller neutral zone. Bounced in, and Harley back together. There's Pareko.
That's good confidence. The same pass he missed before, right on the tape.
Here's a guy that outside the Canada line. McKinnon intercepts. 2-on-1. McKinnon. Suzuki misses. Down low it goes. Suzuki and his skates. Trying to work that puck loose. McKinnon waits. Hagel on the fringe too. Suzuki continues to battle. And it's played up for Hagel. Now it's Taves. Off the inboards behind the net. McKinnon got bumped there. McCarr moves up. He'll try and swipe it to McKinnon. Played ahead off Douay, and Texier will clear. So past 10 minutes of this second period, and a stumble by Suzuki. Up ahead Douay, and that looked offside, and it is.
Chances galore for Canada. They got to find a way to put some of these ones in. As first it's McDavid right from his own end on the pop pass from Parayko. The one he missed the first period. Had to get back on the horse. Sets up Harley. Good save by Junka. And then this one, Hagel. I think this one might catch the post. That's a wide open net. You just not trying to miss, but these are the chances Canada. When you think about the goal differential, you think about the U.S. playing the Germans. After this, you need to find a way to put these in the back of the net.
Shot 6-0 in the period for Team Canada. So currently +4 better than Team USA.
That's enough to keep the Americans interested against Germany.
Yep. In comes Marner with Stone. They'll crisscross. Marner, Crosby. Sent it across, knocked away. Back to Theodore. And he drove that wide with traffic in front of Junka. Knocked away from Perret, but bounced back to him. And now in is Boudon. Perret puts it behind the net. Centered it from Belmar. And Binnington has to make a stop on Charles Bertrand. So it remains a 2-goal Team Canada lead.
Smart and the kind you pretend you never made. Introducing investing with GoSmart. Smart. Introducing your girlfriend's dad to your hidden talent. Not smart. Opening your GoSmart account to start trading in minutes. Smart. Making it rain with $10. Not smart. Commission-free trading. Smart. Getting a tattoo without checking the spelling. Oof, not smart. Smart. Start investing in minutes with as little as $10 with GoSmart. New from RBC Direct Investing.
There's Louis Boudon of France, who had a pair of goals during that offensive outburst in the second period versus the Czechs the other day. He had this to say after their second loss of the tournament: "We know a lot of these teams don't respect us. We don't really care." Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, this is achieving a lifelong dream for him, representing his country at the Olympics, as Chris alluded to. The tournament for him, in his mind, is to earn some respect back from the other nations, and they're hanging on to the 2-goal deficit in this second period, Chris.
He fully admits, Belmar said, our best player isn't as good as their worst player. But we're working hard to contain this powerhouse Team Canada team so far with under 8.5 minutes left. Second period. And there is Belmar on the puck. Back to the line, Bosk. And across, Ovitu just missed. Belmar's side of the net. That almost snuck through off the back of Binnington, and Team Canada relieves the pressure. Horvat going to draw a penalty on Ovitu as he tried to get around the French defenseman. So another rep for the power play, Mike.
Yeah, this time they're all rested, though. No one's coming off a shift where they're tired. Results in a better executed power play. Ovitu trying to hold up Bo Horvat. He keeps his feet moving. Forces Ovitu to make a decision. Let him go or take the penalty. He goes down, gets right back up, but the call is made. This would be a good time for this power play, which has looked so dangerous. Snap one around in the back of the net for Canada.
What do you want to see better?
Well, first of all, entries and puck retrievals. Get to their sets under control. Move a little quicker.
They start with a face-off win. McDavid off the boards. We'll size it up. Crosby alongside of the net. Makar the point man. Makar in. Makar scores! That was lethal, and it's 4-1. 15 seconds into the power play, and Cale Makar has his first Olympic gold.
The advantage of starting power plays with an offensive zone faceoff. You don't have to worry about a zone entry because you're starting in the zone. And McDavid isolates Texier, who don't get stuck in a little deep, and then once Makar starts walking, freezes Boudon. There's also Gallet, there's Reinhardt, and Junka just can't see. Look at eyes up the whole time. He's looking for the goaltender, and he's looking for the seam. Cale Makar, as good at this as any defenseman in the world. Reloads 3 times, getting closer, and then eventually picks a spot, puts it in the back of the net.
A little surprising, that's his first senior international goal. His only other tournament was 4 Nations, a pass that Celebrini just missed. So Makar with his first of the Olympics, another point for McDavid, another point for Crosby.
That put him up top, tying the list of Joel McGinley for points for NHL Olympians from Canada. He was trailing by 1. But you just can't let Makar get inside the top of the circle. Doesn't have to be a slapper, doesn't have to be a one-timer. That wrister is plenty to beat any goalie from that distance.
So +3 in the game. At the moment, Celebrini across, and that shot just missed. McDavid going stick side. Now Doughty. Up with it, Celebrini. Swings it back for McDavid. Wilson also up front for Canada. Scored 15 seconds in, so McDavid could take the next shift. Celebrini working his way into the middle. McDavid off the boards. Look at this. Wilson stopped by Shutka.
Stop!
After a sensational setup from 97. Celebrini flips across. McDavid there, he gets tied up. Worked over by Trey. It'll come back to Doughty and Harley. Team Canada starts to change. Celebrini was going off, stayed out, and got one last shot on. And Shutka's got another save, and he's been terrific.
Well, that stop on Tom Wilson, who's already got 1 in the game, parking back door, battling for space. He puts it right on the tee, he even elevates it. That is just brilliance from Junka. Hard to get it much higher than that, quicker for Tom Wilson. Just elevate a little bit, but nope. Junka with his best of the night.
Draw, Hagel, he got checked. Out his Ritz with Philip Bozon. Jim Bozon's dad, former St. Louis Blue and a member of the IIHF Hall of Fame. The most decorated player from France. Theodore leaves it. It'll get swung around by Sanheim. French pressure here. As Bertrand took a whack at it. And now Theodore will take control. 1 shot for France in this period. Here's McKinnon, and it's swung away by Junka on a pretty hot carom off the inboards. Bosca kept alive at the line by Makar. Hagel trying to get it further in. Around for Crosby. Nice pass, Suzuki. And that off the shoulder of Junka. Or maybe the mask as he reaches up. And it looked like one of the straps got popped. Cale Makar, first Olympic goal. What a throw for him and his dad, Gary.
Underneath it all, it's not just about getting back up. The hours spent chasing seconds, or the achievements that paved your path. It's about what helped you leave your mark. For 20 years, Intact Insurance has stood behind speed skate in Canada, and now we're partnering with Team Canada to champion all the Olympians of tomorrow.
This is the up-to-date scoring leaderboard for the Olympics. Slavkovsky having a great tournament so far, but with 2 more assists. Connor McDavid looking for his 3rd straight 3-point game with 1 more in this one. It hasn't been quite as easy going as he made it look the first couple games. French have done a good job getting in the way, but still atop the scoring board as he likes to be.
Joe McGinley, Joe Sakic had more than 1 3-point game in the Olympics. The only player to do it in consecutive games, Timo Solani, back in '98. And so 2 in this game, and he goes 3 consecutive 3-pointers. Boy, Zhukka denied Tom Wilson, or it would be 3 already.
You start thinking about these great chances that haven't gone in. The Hagel backdoor off the post, Wilson as well.
There's Taves shooting, and that sticks to Zhukka.
Zhukka, what can you say? He's given up 4, but he has been the story of the game for France, as we knew he would have to be. Maybe playing against Canada last year with that star-studded team of the World Championship gave him a few less nerves than he otherwise might feel facing this kind of roster.
Mentioned yesterday, he did start as a goaltender in Spain, actually, and moved to France till he was 13 years of age. Knocked off the stick of Texier. Following up, though, Texier a chance, and that got blocked. Thomas Harley. Budov resets to Crino. Under 5 left here in the second period. Shots now 28-7. In the game yesterday, France, their shot totals 3, 5, and 4 in each of the periods. Here comes Bo Horvat. Zhukka, it got by him. It's behind him. And there's 3 French players behind him and FRA alongside to make sure that didn't leak in.
That's the second time this tournament we've seen Bo Horvat shot out of a cannon. He had that nice 5-hole goal earlier. This time it's down the wing. Tries for the same move. Good pass right on the tape, and he's in alone. He's going to get that right leg up, protect it, try to tuck it through, and he gets it banging around between the legs, but not clean. And Zhukka finds a way to get enough of it with a little help from his friends. And Zhukka may have lost a skate blade. He's rolling around on the ice or something. I don't think he's hurt. I think he got an equipment issue. Or is... That's equipment issue. They took the athletic therapist, bring out the equipment man. Now the problem with goalie pads, they're sometimes tough to fix quickly. If it's just a blade pop in, then there we go. That's good hustle.
That's a good pit crew.
There's F1 testing right now. Sign him up.
And he's pretty happy that he was able to execute that job with about hundreds of millions of people watching.
Nailed it.
Horvat on the draw. Top face-off man at last year's World Championships, over 75%. Comes out to center. Horvat bringing it back in with Reinhardt. Bennett, the 3rd member of this unit right now. And out comes the French goal scorer Douay. Turned over. Here comes Horvat again. And a foot pass that bounced over the stick to Bennett. Bennett leaps it at the line. Horvat tried to get it to Doughty. And Trey with the long reach. Got a stick on that. Veteran Drew Doughty will dump it in. McDavid after the puck. Sent out to center and played back in by Theodore. And McDavid takes a hit. And McKinnon went after the hitter, and Zhukka will stop that. So little response after Connor McDavid, who's been dishing out the hits in this tournament, is on the receiving end this time.
Tom Wilson had a word for Bozon as well on his way off the ice. Take a look at the blade popping off on Junka. Sam Reinhardt's stick getting the goalie with the pop-out blade. Seems risky for a goaltender. He can take a puck off that blade and it comes out.
Just over 3 minutes left here in the second period. A 3-goal lead for Team Canada. Cale Makar, the latest to hit the back of the net. Here's McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon shifting gears. Looking across. Theodore in front. A rebound. And another good stop by Junka with Celebrini on the doorstep.
Junka is a big goalie. And so all these seam passes to the back door, he's getting his pads to.
He's got Celebrini to deal with now. And pulled down. Do we get a penalty shot? Yes. And 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini will go to center ice. Third member of Team Canada to ever have an Olympic penalty shot. Sidney Crosby, 2010 against Germany. Corey Perry, 2014 against Austria.
Anyone could take this. It doesn't have to be Celebrini. And that's an obvious call, clearly. John Cooper just waved off Kyle Raymond and said, nah, the kid's good.
Rick Celebrini, dad anxiously watching. What's the kid got this time? Goals in each of the first two. And on the penalty shot, got another. Macklin Celebrini, 5-1 Canada.
It's so great. He's so young. With all these stars, anyone can take that penalty shot. And John Cooper wisely lets the guy who earned it take it. Backhand, forehand, chip. That's the Nikita Kucherov new shot 7-hole. You're intentionally going slow. Look like you're going to go above the pad. You actually go close to the body, inside the blocker and the chest protector. And that's a guy who's paying attention to what's happening around the NHL, the shootouts. That's been a new shot that's come of age this year. Celebrini executed perfectly for another big goal for Canada, who still wants and probably needs a few more.
See the whole family with that same smile. We're going to see a lot of that, I think. There's an alley-oop look for Stone, broken up by Billy, and Stone took it away. Maybe another chance. Scores! It slides in, and Sidney Crosby has scored. These two goals come 19 seconds apart, and Troy Crosby is on his feet.
Well, for all the great saves and near misses, Canada probably feels like they deserve a break. One to bounce in. And wouldn't you notice the captain, Sidney Crosby. Shakshvili brings it down, but the quick stick of who? Mark Stone gets it over to Crosby. He's trying to find Marner back door in the back check. Unfortunately, Fabre gets a poke on it and knocks it past Junka.
And now Sidney Crosby has the most points in the Olympic Games among NHL players in Team Canada history. He has 15 with a goal and 2 assists in this game. Here's another chance, and that sailed high. So now +5. And Team Canada starts to open up what could be an insurmountable amount on the goal differential against the United States. Jarvis behind the net. Jarvis looking for it. Again, the goals at 17-16 and 17-35. The penalty shot goal by Celebrini. Crosby from Stone. Another chance, and that one doesn't go. Reinhardt. Jarvis. Good battle there, and now taking over is Bosk. And Bosk sends it down into the Canadian territory. One shot so far, 16-1 the shots. Second period, Canada. What was the Biesca over-under?
He said 4. slipped out of his range right now. But it's not enough to make Canada comfortable for the American game yet.
You're looking for more. So is McDavid. Trying to sneak through there in the final minute. France gets back. Here's McKinnon. Celebrini. McDavid to finish the period. Maybe one more. McKinnon knocked it wide. Celebrini. McDavid fires. That's blocked. It's Celebrini again. Right? Can't slide that through. France is going to play it back out to center. Final 20 seconds of the period. Thomas Harley turns back. Going to get one more chance. Junka can't reach that. Here is Hagel off the boards. Hagel trying to get to the net. Back it goes Parayko. Into the corner. And the clock's going to drain. But Team Canada, with 2 goals in 19 seconds, 3 in the final 8 minutes. And they expand the lead to 6-1 after 2. The penalty shot, and Rick Celebrini likes the result.
After collecting silver, the king of the moguls makes his final appearance of the games. And making their debut, Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps. Tonight on RBC Olympic Winter Games Prime Time.
CBC Gem gives you control of your Olympic experience. 22 hours of Olympic coverage every day, with all the events on replay, all the Olympic excitement, all in one place. Watch free on CBC Gem.
She scoops. She scores!
Spooner!
Nordica. My protein play every day.
Since you caught a cold, you've become 90% tissue. Real Strength is relief of your 10 worst symptoms with Advil Cold Sinus and Flu Extra Strength, so you can get back to the real you. Advil, that's real strength.
When everyone and everything work together, our scale becomes your strength. Bring us your ideas and put the full power of RBC to work.
I get by with little help from my friends. I'm gonna try.
It takes a team to feed the dream.
We heard you wanted a comeback. Well, you got it. Say hello to the Chevrolet Bolt with faster DC charging and huge tech upgrades and range to keep you going. Oh yeah, the Bolt is so back.
And right off the start, I mean, this is remarkable strength and unity from the Canadians.
Can she stick the landing? She can! Oh, the crowd loves it!
That is superb brush control. A huge effort.
Oh, what a breakout from this Canadian pair. Incredible teamwork.
This is what we're made for, Canada. I could ask. Why not? Yeah, I'll just ask.
Wondering about Ozempic? Ask your doctor and visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
5 players, at least 3 shots on goal for Canada. They're plus 14. The U.S. plus 7. That's a subtext. U.S. will play Germany at 3 ET, 6-1 after 2 periods of play. So this year I introduced Kevin BX, Elliot Friedman to a dear friend of mine. Trevor Bird is the head scout for the Charlottetown Islanders. We call him House Cat because he comes to the house and he never leaves. Anyway, House Cat, Friday night in Charlottetown, took his picture with Matthew Schaefer, who's enjoying some hockey there. Matthew's girlfriend, Samantha Green, plays at UPEI, so nice for Matthew. And, of course, the word on the island, Mike and Gary Kennedy told me, is that House Cat is no longer name-dropping Elliot and Kevin. It's a bit of a disaster for me personally. And, James, you, with your ties to the Masters Golf and FIFA and the NHL, the Olympics, bet you have fair weather friends as well. Over to you there at Santa Julia.
Ron, I spent some time with you out at Brad Richards Golf Tournament in PEI, and I watched many of your experiences with House Cat, and there's an entire book of stories, Ron and House Cat, to be written at some
House Cat
point.
stole my stick, too, so he maybe stealing Matthew Schaefer.
I
gotta say,
that was Logan McMillan.
I gotta say, I knew Brad Richards was going to make it to the Olympic Games.
Right. And usually it's Ron, but it's me who did it this time.
No better place than PEI.
One other quick story for you. When Macklin Celebrini was 5 years old, he was in his grandparents' backyard in Burnaby, BC. His Uncle Randy was tossing wiffle balls at him, and Macklin was slamming them over the fence into the neighbor's yard. And he turned and he said, Uncle Randy, someday people are going to pay to watch me do this. 5 years old, that kind of swagger. Rick Celebrini told me that story because he wrote it down at the time. Right sentiment, wrong sport. People are paying to watch and do this. And that swagger continues right into the Olympic Games alongside 97.
That's exactly what it is. And I met Macklin right around the same time, 5 or 6 years old. And the skills are obvious, right? His skill set's obvious. His skating, his puck handling, his shot. But what makes him special, what makes him able to play as a 19-year-old on the #1 line on the best team in the country is, watch this. He wants the puck. What 19-year-old in the world is beaver tailing when Connor McDavid has the puck, right? Maybe Leon Draisaitl would do this, but again, give me it, Connor. Give me it, Connor. Are you kidding me? And honestly, it's not a disrespect thing. It's right here. Connor is open twice, and Macklin, he's like, I'll get it to you when I'm ready. I believe in myself. I have a self-confidence. I'm not going to force stuff to you just because you're Connor McDavid. I know what I'm doing, and then he gets the penalty shot, and this is the skill set, right? Then, do you think Macklin's standing over that puck nervous? He's like, no, I cannot wait to do whatever I want and put this puck into the net. And then the laugh at the bench. Like, his just a special mentality.
Well, there's so much confidence to his game. It's a swagger, right? It is a swagger, as you mentioned, but he also drew 3 penalties as well. So a 19-year-old that draws 3 penalties in this game because of his skill set, he's dynamic, but because of his IQ, he puts his opponents in vulnerable spots.
I am choosing to believe he knew the rule that anybody could take the shot, but he just went to center ice so nobody else
I
could
love that.
Well, yes. I think John Cooper, Connor McDavid, he was just like, no, Celebrini's got it. Like, they both looked at each other on the bench, which I found incredible. But I cover the Sharks a lot. All the boys pregame are playing sewer ball, but not Macklin Celebrini. He's there with the strength and conditioning coach, going through his whole pregame program. He is such a professional at 19 years old.
Cale Makar is somewhat the same with the swagger. When he showed up at World Juniors, I think he was the 7th defenseman and slowly played as we looked at him and said, how is this guy the 7th defenseman?
Well, it's pretty incredible when you watch him in all 3 zones, and that's what it is, a complete game. And we can talk at nauseum about this guy, his swagger, and what he could do as a young man as well. We talked about his efficient skating, but everything starts on the back end and how you have that spacing. I love the way he manipulates the offensive blue line. Look at this, dive down, activating so many different ways, whether it's a heel-to-heel, whether it's a switch, or whether he's sprinting the blue line. This guy knows how to create with his skating, but then he takes what he creates. So this is a ton of high ice. He says, yeah, I'm not staying back that. I'm going to shrink the zone. I'm going to take that ice. I think of him as like an accordion, guys. He just goes in and he goes out. He makes it nice and tight, and then he'll extend the zone. And that creates space. And then you see his one-on-one play, his transition. We can talk about it all night long. You're an accordion. I'm going to talk to you about it later, buddy. I want to see if you sing it.
So here's my question to you then. And I'm stealing Kevin's material, I'm embarrassed to admit. You tell him to take his skates off. Don't need him in the 3rd period. Can't afford to lose him. No penalty kill, please. No penalty kill.
No penalty kill, but he stays on the bench.
I might just say you've got the rest of the night off. Yeah. They got 6 other D.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Cale Makar with Kyle Bukauskas.
Kale, you burst onto the scene in a playoff series with Colorado at 20 years old. What do you think of how Macklin Celebrini's handling the different moments at 19 years of age, his first Olympics?
It's incredible. I mean, I was nowhere close to that at that age, and for him to be able to come here and play with the best players, and especially get a lot of shifts with Nate and Dabo, it's incredible to watch. He's running the puck around out there and making exceptional plays. So it's a joy to play with that kid for sure.
Everyone's aware of the situation, how much goal differential matters in this game for the rest of the preliminary round. How do you approach the third period?
For us, we're just focusing on continuing to get better each period. I don't think we're focused on the outcome right now of scoring as many goals or whatever. For us, it's just progressively getting better and making sure we're doing the right things, carrying that into our next game.
Thanks very much, Cal.
Thanks.
And Ron, you mentioned it, but we'll reiterate it. Canada plus 14 in goal differential, USA plus 7. And again, the reason the first seed matters, the second seed likely to play Sweden in the quarterfinals. Ron.
Terrific, James. Crowd shots have been excellent, as you know, seeing the reactions to Cale and Macklin and Sid. There's Gary. And there's Rick. And Troy. 3 goals in that period. The dad trick for Canada. Perdita, when we come back.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Dear Mikael, I know you'll be up on the mountain thinking if you train harder, fight through the injuries, one day you'll be a champion. And you will be. And it'll feel incredible. But here's what else I know. When you hold your son, the feeling of winning won't even come close.
Here we go. It's a thing of beauty.
I don't believe it! That might do it! Oh my goodness!
Nails the landing.
What a shot!
That was wild.
What an incredible performance!
That was huge.
Holy smokes. That was in another stratosphere.
I've never seen anything quite like that. Welcome to the Olympics.
Can she stick the landing? She can! Oh, the crowd loves it!
That is superb brush control. A huge effort.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
Because sometimes we feel guilty. Give more love than humanly possible when you feed a Hill's scientifically proven formula. Because you're only human, there's Hill's.
For the days when you just don't wanna, there's McDelivery. Order on the McD's app to earn points and get a $0 delivery fee. An 11% service fee and $2 small order fee still apply.
I get it. It's hard to change. Me? I'm pretty loyal. I've been on the same team for 17 years. Same coach for 11. Never switched my number once. I start every warm-up with a pass from the same guy. What's up, Curtis? And I shoot from the same spot. Every time. So you can imagine how good something has to be for me to change.
Can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it with the big bad dough. Come on. Don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good? Yeah.
Time for an Olympic update presented by Rugovi. This is the big story of the day.
On course! Orishima on the blue course, Kingsbury in the red court. Great push by the two of them. Corked in, synchronized, land at the end of the landing, and it's faster. Tied neck and neck. And Kuma incredible. Mick still doing things again, and Kuma, he's out. He has to go around the bottom of him. And Mikael Kingsbury will be your Olympic gold champion.
He's done it, ladies and gentlemen. Ikuma gave it all. But look at this. Mikael Kingsbury is Olympic champion once again. Canada's first gold medal.
Gold medal for that call. Like, seriously, hats off to Alex and Phil. Nobody else could do it better. We are now talking 500 meters in speed skating. I love this event. It's an absolute clash of the Titans. Utah Leardom, Aaron Jackson. Let's review. Here's Beatrice Lamarche of Quebec City. She's in this 9th pairing. She was 5th at the 1,000 meters not too long ago. She'd have a strong skate here too, looking pretty good. She'd finished 7th overall. Had a girl, right on. Let's head now to the 15th and last duel. Utah Leardom holds the lead going in. Here's Femke Kok. She works Aaron Jackson. I mean, it's over. She put it away. The Flying Dutch woman doing Dutch woman flying things. Amazing. Olympic record too. Did I say? 36.49 for her. Golden skate. 2 Canadian duos will start their pairs program today. Deanna and Max looking for their first medal. That's at 3 p.m. today.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
The biggest night in Canadian music with your host, Mae Martin, the 55th Annual Juno Awards, live March 29th at 8 on CBC.
The journey to glory begins with grit. They say greatness is a lonely road, but look closer. At Nulo, we stand with the silent teammates, the ones who never miss a send-off and are always there for the welcome home. They remind us to breathe, to rest, to carry on. Nulo fuels the pets who fuel their people, because behind every champion is a teammate who believed in them first. Nulo, fuel incredible.
I want to be one of those women who just skates through menopause with no symptoms.
You can see that you haven't been yourself. So if you want to talk about it, this isn't the place.
Here we go.
Small achievable goals on CBC Gem. On the Dragon's Den 2-part special,
I think we've officially arrived.
the show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
Dragon's Den Full Circle, new episode February 26th.
When it all comes together, it could mean you're ready to talk to your doctor about Wegovy. Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
When Team Canada wins gold, you win at Tim's. Unlock exclusive offers with Tim's Rewards every time Canada takes gold. Join Tim's Rewards to be part of it.
RBC Training Ground. Shifting, shaping, and sparking potential in over 20,000 Canadian athletes. That's how talent takes flight.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Bellissimo, Italia. It really has been a wonderful day here in Milano, Italy for the final day of the preliminary round of the men's tournament. We wanted to mention this on the weekend that Valentine's Day was celebrated. This is Dr. Laura Benyon of Vancouver and Dr. Ian Auld of Victoria. The two are married. They have come here to one of the most romantic countries in the world, not for vacation. No, they are here to work. Dr. Benyon is the lead physician of the women's hockey team for Canada. Dr. Auld, the lead physician of the men's team here in Milano Cortina. If you're going to take care of Olympic athletes, you have to lead with love, and they certainly do. Canada in good hands between those two, Chris.
And in good shape in this game, Kyle, as we get set for the third period. 6-1. The last two goals, Mike. Macklin Celebrini on a penalty shot. Sidney Crosby came 19 seconds apart.
And just 19 years apart between the two of them as well.
Next gen. And for Celebrini, the youngest to ever score in the NHL or at the Olympics on a penalty shot. Here they come again. McDavid, dazzling. 7-1. Welcome to the game, Antoine Keller. As the French change their goaltenders, but not their luck. And the McDavid clan is up and cheering.
Oh my word. There's nothing you can do with this. It's a give, celebrating a go, and poor Jules Bosk, he's skating as fast as he can. He just can't go fast enough. Split the D, and then Keller trying to get to the post first. No chance with that kind of speed. Fresh ice, flat puck, easy tuck, and a 20-second in goal for Connor McDavid, which makes it 3 games in a row with 3 points for Connor McDavid, something that has never happened in the NHL era of the Olympics.
Triple threat, McDavid, his second, celebrating another point. And Tom Wilson gets a second assist. And Keller hasn't even worked up a sweat yet, the 21-year-old who started the first game for France. A 4-0 defeat against Switzerland.
As soon as McDavid gives it to Celebrini, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is just going to split it and have Celebrini throw it into space. And it's just nothing you could do except take an interference penalty. That's your only option.
Just guessing, and Keller can't be happy right now, but one day he'll tell his grandchildren Connor McDavid scored on him right away. Like that's almost like a badge of honor. What a goal. And Dubé in, pocket picked. Suzuki comes up with the puck. Some good work there. And gets out to center. So we're +6 now on the game, and it means the Americans are really going to have to take it to Germany to get the #1 seed. But after sort of a slow start, they just have kind of been grinding away, but there's one back. Wow, Sasha Trey let it go. That's the 38-year-old who finally got a chance to play in the Olympics, and now he can say he is an Olympic goal scorer.
Certainly put that big body behind this slapper. Sasha Trey comes down the wing, and that's the other part of the equation. We focus on goals for, there's the other goals against component of it. On the fourth line, Adamo kicks it out, and boy, he takes a big swing at that one and puts it right by Jordan Binnington off the elbow, or under the elbow, to counter the McDavid early goal, back to +5.
It's his brother behind the bench, 15 World Championships, 5 Olympic qualifying tournaments, unsuccessful, was going to retire, but then France added because Russia was not allowed to take part, and now he has his Olympic moment. Here's a spin around shot, and Binnington reaches back to make sure that doesn't squeak through.
That one sat just underneath his toe. And what a great moment. Sasha Trey scoring for his brother, Yorick, in behind the bench. Come on, bro. Put me out there a little bit more. Great stuff. And that fourth line has actually been pretty good for France over the last couple of games. They play physically, they get in the offensive zone, they bang around. Trey gets his first of the Olympics.
It's been an eventful start, and we're going to get more here. And Keller makes the stop on Makar, who was allowed to break in.
Thought he was going to do the reverse side McDavid.
2 minutes in, we've had a couple of goals. And that chance for Makar. 7-2, Team Canada. Favre taken out in the corner. McKinnon. Hagel, one-handed by Suzuki, not out, that deflected, and didn't miss by much. Texier, and it jumps the stick of Gallet, and back out. Thierry, Texier, both teams starting to change, and McDavid comes to the near side. Wilson lets it go, kept in by Sanheim. McDavid behind the net. Wilson crashes in. Leads on his man. Back to McDavid. Trying to ward off a check. Nice play by Parayko. Bump back to McDavid covering. Cuts inside and shoots. And Antoine Keller has that.
Connor McDavid has been playing like a man possessed in these games so far. 2 goals, 9 points, plenty of shots, and breathtaking speed. In the game where speed is everything, he is the fastest by a considerable margin.
Cooper said he wasn't entirely happy, not John, but Connor McDavid himself with his play at Four Nations. It has taken it certainly to a different level here.
He's found his winger for the next 10 years internationally, Macklin Celebrini.
Here's Ritz in. Well, it seems to be instant chemistry. Be a pretty good 1-2 punch down the middle. They played Celebrini at center too. But for right now, it's a perfect fit. That batted out of midair by Marner. And Ritz back to get it. On to the left side. Bertrand sends it in. Binnington out of the net. Up ahead, off Horvat. Trying to catch up to it, Reinhardt. Moving up is Theodore. Bennett gets in there, trying to dig it out. Theodore with 3 French players around, and now Bennett on one side, Horvat on the other. And Bennett worked it out. Sanheim. Back around, Keller can't knock it down. Back to Theodore. Here's Sam Bennett. That shot ends up in the corner. Sanheim, indeed. Thierry with an outlet. Bozon can't clear. Kept in by Theodore. Sam Bennett, drag and shot. The net got blocked. Theodore to Horvat. 5 minutes into the third. Horvat, Keller with the stop. Back to Shea Theodore. Side of the net, Bennett. Another drive, and they score! Bo Horvat, sharp angle. 8-2 Team Canada.
That's a good goal because that's a 4th line offensive zone shift kind of goal. Not off the rush, not a quick flash, but a grinding possession, attack and retrieve. And Bo Horvat, who's had plenty of looks in today's game, jumps on the short side rebound and tucks it home from a tight angle. But Horvat's been good at getting chances in these games so far. There is a continual battle for ice time on that 4th line, and it was the best they've looked in the offensive zone all game.
24 goals with the Islanders and now 2 in the Olympic Games. What Drew Downing said he liked about the team so far is when there have been little sags, they've been able to respond. So they give up the goal by Trey, and under 4 minutes later, have a response. But here comes France again. Fabre, Texier, bumps it back to the line, OV2, cut off by Makar. Up ahead, he's passed by McKinnon, he gets it back. With Suzuki, Nathan McKinnon puts on the brakes. To the line, Makar, deflected just wide off Hagel. Suzuki's on it. Here's Makar again, trying to go short side and shrugged out of play by Antoine Keller.
Bo Horvat had a fantastic start to the season this year. Forced his way into the conversation to make this team, and his efficiency in the face-off circle, and he could be a great second-unit power play guy. Forced the hand of the management group to pick him, and he's showing why. Underrated speed as well, CC. He has been dashing up and down the ice.
That was a spectacular goal, and his first Olympic goal with a burst of speed. As McDavid, just under 15 minutes through 2 periods.
That's a lot
for Olympic standards.
Yeah, 1804 is high so far, so he should be past that with ease, maybe in the next shift or two. Puck played out to center. Wilson will regroup it. Here's Sanheim looking for McDavid. Bounced it in. He was in ahead of the puck, and that would have been offside. OB2 the other way. Belmar goes to the front of the net. And that picked off, and away he goes again.
Harley.
Thomas Harley jumping up, and there's Celebrini. Harley, stick lifted as Belmar comes back. OB2 the other way. Looking across, Hugo Gallet steps up. OB2 behind the net. Stone tracks him. Chance there for Parade, and Binnington called upon to make a tough stop. Well, Seth Jarvis back on Team Canada, and his buddies back to cheer him on. More with Kyle after this.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players to an all-inclusive betting app that's got you covered.
Hi! When you win, you get paid fast! BetRivers, welcome to your online casino!
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Dear Lori, enjoy the journey. On the mountain and down any trail you blaze.
Well, Canada was wondering when Seth Jarvis made the team, and we've got your answer. The most loyal, they're doing the wave here too, the most loyal friend group they've got going. Seth Jarvis's boys here, Lucas, Brian, Matt, Sloan, Lucas, and Noah, who wasn't with the group at Four Nations, but here now. So, Lucas, how did you end up here? Give us the story.
I mean, it's been a journey. It was a little bit different than driving that 30 hours down to Boston, but, you know, we wouldn't be here without Air Canada. They took care of us, and they made sure that we had smooth travels, and we got to where we are right now.
Because the original plan was to go meet Seth in Raleigh over the course of this break. So what was the communication like with him when all of a sudden he's coming here to the Olympics?
It was chaos. I mean, we would have thought when we were in Boston we would have learned our lesson about travel insurance, but I think that's the theme of our group, is it makes for a better story. So when we found out he was coming here, we knew we wanted to be here, and we just had to figure out how.
Now, your guys' story took off after the Four Nations brilliance. So since landing here in Milan this morning, I mean, how often have you been recognized and other Canadians here saying hi?
It's pretty cool. I mean, just as we're walking by, I'm not sure if fans like these goofy hats that we're wearing or if they notice us, but there's been lots of love, the energy, the camaraderie. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is a dream come true for everybody here.
Awesome. I'm sure a lot of Canadians will be great to see you throughout your time here, so appreciate you hopping on again. For now, Chris, MJ, back to you.
What a bunch of beauties. Wouldn't be surprised they end up running a van, too. Good to have them here. Their characters, and from all reports, Seth Jarvis is big a character as you'll find on Team Canada. OB2 sends it ahead. Texier sends it in. Lofted back out by Stone. Alex Texier has not been able to find his offense yet in this tournament. Crosby, now the all-time leading Team Canada score in Olympic competition in the NHL era. Away goes Makar. Take that off the boards. Pass Marner. Team Canada changing. Reinhardt comes out with Horvat, the most recent Team Canada goal scorer. Parayko shoveling it ahead. Horvat looking rink wide. Great pass. Here's Seth Jarvis, almost on cue. But what a terrific stick by Antoine Keller. Kyle?
Yes, with the other Lucas now. I mean, you guys are ready to explode on that last rush by Seth, so take us through what you're thinking.
Oh, man, I have no words. Seeing him score would be insane. I think we all would have probably jumped off the balcony here or something. We would have went as crazy as possible. I don't have words to describe what that would be like.
Okay, who among the group here are the best travelers? Who are the worst?
Best travelers would be Lucas Fry and Brian Hanna. They have got us through the entire trip, making all the connections, handling everything. Me, Sloan, Noah, and Matt have been kind of along for the ride, but it's been great. It's been great. They're taking care of us this time.
Does anyone here speak good Italian, or how are you feeling about being over here?
You know, I know scusi, grazie, per favore, and that's about it. That's what we're getting by on.
Kevin Bieksa has Italian grandparents, and you're way better than what he can offer from an Italian perspective. Anyway, thank you, Luke.
Awesome, thank you.
Chris.
Perfetto, Kyle. All those guys are good. Wouldn't that have been something?
Timing would have been perfect. Not for the poke check from Antoine Keller.
Sandheim redlining in. Keller trying to knock that down. Keller's looked good in relief here. 21 years of age. Only 2 challenge. Stolen here by Celebrini. Look for McDavid in front. And the puck cleared. There's Trey and trying to chip it ahead. Dewey might have been loose. Celebrini is loose. And then coming back to make the check there was Boston. Loose for McDavid. 3 straight 3-point games. That blast. That get through or not. There was traffic in front with Big Tom Wilson. Goes McKinnon hopping in. Nathan McKinnon across. Scores! Brandon Hagel is on the board. And it's 9 for Canada.
This line needed this. This line has been sort of shuffled around at times, working to find their chemistry. McKinnon comes on and off. Hagel has hit the post already in a glorious chance earlier. And so Brandon Hagel, who's one of the best 5-on-5 scorers in the NHL, gets his Olympic goal. Quick up to Nathan McKinnon, 3-on-2. He tries to draw 2 in, kick it for a one-timer in. Good finish by Brandon Hagel. 9th goal's good, +7's good. And this line finding some chemistry may be most important big picture for Canada.
Had a terrific offensive year in Tampa Bay with 27 goals, 54 points. Hagel from McKinnon to Theodore at 10:46. There's McKinnon trying to go all the way. Belmar. Hooray sends it ahead. Stefan DaCosta on the ice as well for France, but here's a centering pass, and DaCosta came back to intercept that. Here's a chance for Hagel. Not off Keller and the post. Knocked down behind the net. McKinnon, he got flattened by Crino, and there's a penalty, and Nathan McKinnon is a little slow to get up, and Crino with an apology as he heads off. Second penalty of the game for Crino. We'll get another look at the hit on McKinnon.
Every winter, the birds fly south. Not all of them, just the ones who can't handle it. The days getting shorter, the wind getting meaner, the sun that might not come. Because chasing warmth is natural, for some. For others, they were born to chase something else.
When you play the lottery with OLG, you sponsor Ontario athletes. Your play supports athletes from your community.
Winner, gagnant.
Canada will head to the power play as Crino picks up a hit for a high one on Nate McKinnon behind the net. The interference, doesn't have the puck here, and he gets him right in his head. The height disparity there, but never want to see Nate McKinnon elbow right in the side of his ear, cheek. And so Greenon goes to the box, and Tom Wilson comes out here to do a little housekeeping. Here at Edouard Bellemare, understand what's going on here. They actually have a pretty civilized conversation, and what Tom Wilson is saying is, listen, you don't want this to go down that road the rest of the game. You tell your bench to you play hard. You keep your hits under control. As the referees are still reviewing this, perhaps a 5 for head contact and not just 2. It was fascinating to listen, though, to Pierre-Edouard Bellemare and Tom Wilson go back and forth. And they seem to come to agreement.
I was going to say, Bellemare certainly would understand what Tom Wilson is talking about and likely to convey that to the French bench.
Yeah, and it's not quite the same as the NHL, but there is, Tom Wilson starts flying around the last 5 minutes. That's unpleasant for everyone involved. It's going to be just 2 for the interference, I think.
After review of the play, the call on ice is changed, minor penalty interference.
So what they do is they call it a 5, so they can take a look at it, and they downgrade it to interference. Canada's bench, basically just saying, is in the head. Make it the 5. Said it was, that's right in the face. Either way, Canada do the power play for 2 minutes.
They don't start the A unit. They've got 9. They probably have enough. Any rep would be useful, but that's not the case right now as Marner sizes it up. Stone, Marner, Horvat, Theodore, Celebrini. Second unit is out. And Marner gets it to Stone. Here's a chance. Celebrini scores. Got another.
This kid is so good. So good. Second unit, not too shabby. Celebrini wanted the puck over the weak side. Mark Stone helped get it there eventually. And the shot fake really set it up for Celebrini to then rip it glove side. Good plays under pressure. Marner, Stone, and then it's a little bit like the Makar walk, except he's going laterally, trying to get guys to bite to block a shot and then get to a better spot. Fly by screen. Keller's miles out of the net, but it does not matter. Celebrini's got another one.
So Team Canada hits double digits. Macklin Celebrini the first for Team Canada with more than 1 goal in the game. 9 different goal scorers, 10-2.
We'd like to see it. Spread it all the way around. Another point for Mark Stone as well. And there's the famous release of Macklin Celebrini. The way he could shoot the puck and get into spots where he needs to shoot it like that. Impressive.
Stone and Marner get the assists on the 10th goal. It came 61 seconds after Brandon Hagel registered his first Olympic goal. 4 first-time Olympic goal scorers for Canada in this game. Wilson, Makar, Hagel. I got one more that I'm trying to find.
Devon Taves.
And Devon Taves. No more calls. Wilson at center with 7:20 to go. So they've ticked a fair number of boxes in this game. Here goes McDavid one more time. Passing it back. Harley on the move. He's shot, and Keller's got that.
For the most part, done what they've had to do is Seth Jarvis checking to see if he needs any repairs. Looks like a little damage. Adamo skates through and catches him up high as well. Adamo almost saying sorry about that as well. And doesn't want to hear sorry. They want you not to do it anymore.
lot of apologies going on.
Too little, too late after you've hit me in the head.
6'6", 240. Adamo. Wilson went after Crino, sending a message, dropping the gloves. And Crino hanging in. Wilson desperately trying to get up and get restarted. And he might. Look out. They'll debate it, but they'll both be heading to the dressing rooms. Something we weren't sure we were going to see. The Team Canada brass looking on. But in a 10-2 game,
I mean, Wilson wanted to go bump Crino, have a word after Crino's high hit on McKinnon. So he does that off the face-off. Crino seemed to be pretty willing to drop the glove, surprisingly. Just don't see these things escalate like this internationally, even when you want to.
Anyway, it happens in a 10-2 game, but the message gets sent that Tom Wilson's not going to be shy about fighting in international hockey.
Got to make sure you're eligible to play next game, though. Tom Wilson's an important part of this team. He's Connor McDavid's winger.
Penalties on the play. Canada, number 43, has 2 minutes for roughing and 5 minutes for fighting. France, number 7, has 2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting.
So they were going to give them
game misconduct with the fights.
Coincidental minors. Now, in the international hockey, if you get a fight, there's also a game misconduct that's automatically applied, so you don't get to stay in there. So here goes Wilson. The first hit, a little extra shove. And both guys know what's happening here. And Wilson got his off quickly. And then Crino just sort of tugged him down in response to this hot fight. We were wondering if anything like this with Tom Wilson would come up during the Olympics. Crino apologized to McKinnon, but that wasn't enough for Tom Wilson. Wilson, we showed him talking to the French bench. As long as he could play next game, Chris, not a problem.
So the end of this game for Wilson was 7 minutes to go. Something that people anticipated and then felt, well, it's the Olympic Games, it's not going to happen, but it sort of did. Not a full-fledged Tom Wilson bout.
Which I think he is probably pretty frustrated about.
Yeah, there's no doubt he was
didn't get to do what he wanted
trying to get
do.
it going again because the slip was not in Wilson fashion. So he will not be around for the handshakes. Sidney Crosby behind the net. Centering it, that's off the side of the cage. Stone looking in front. Marner couldn't reach that. Crosby fires it across. Taves. Theodore. Keller looking behind him. Nearly snow angel off the bar. How did that not go in? Theodore again. Crosby from the corner. Watched by Belmar. Taves. Theodore. And now Theodore across. Marner can't get this through. He's wondering if this was the next pair up or whether Cale Makar is getting the rest of the game off with Taves and Theodore together. There's Fabre sending it in. Binnington thought about coming out. Colton Parayko ahead. Brandon Hagel. And turning back is France. Fabre cuts in. dropping it off and a hit by McKinnon.
Did you see the look he gave him? You hit me, I'll hit you.
And now does some pushing with Gallet.
And again.
And now a penalty coming up as Canada touches up. Keller was headed to the bench. Well, not exactly four nations, USA, Canada yet, but tempers are getting short. And the first fighting majors have been handed out. And Nate McKinnon getting a hit back.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I get by with little help from my friends. I'm gonna try little help from my friends.
It takes a team to feed the dream.
Remember, it's pizza, then French fries. Pizza and French fries. That's it, you got this. Love you, kiddo.
Here she comes up next. Representing Canada is Laurent Saint-Germain.
Together is golden. McCain.
This game has turned chippy down the stretch. Tom Wilson gets in a fight. Nathan McKinnon, who was the hit earlier, nothing wrong with that on Fabre, but Hugo Gallet did something to get under his skin. So Nathan McKinnon, the most
couple of times for what?
France, can they carve an opportunity out with the 5-on-4 hit? Of course, they did concede the short-handed goal at the end of the first due to that man there, Stone, but he's knocked off his tracks and France will reset. Bertrand. Temperature has certainly rose at the end of this match. Given away, and now another opportunity on the shorthand for Team Canada, and it's a brilliant stick interception sliding through from Dylan Fabre on the back check. And he did not want France to be conceding when having the man advantage for a second time in this game. Canada successful in the penalty kill. McKinnon back on the ice. And now Saponic for McCarr. And across it goes. Hagel unable to make the contact after another superb late intervention from France. Suzuki. McCarr. Good forechecking. And kept alive as well to create an opportunity on the offensive here. Oh, that's brilliant stick work. And it's well stopped by Binnington. But it will be another Canada penalty. Perret causing the chaos. And perhaps slightly worse for wear as a result as he clutches that left knee. Kel McCarr with the slashing call as Canada's superstars seeing a couple of visits to the penalty box late in this one. Well, all credit to FRA for being able to create that indecision there in the mind of McCarr, forcing him into doing that. Bennington was down very well in order to stop and guard that front post. Canada not too distantly managed to get double figures in an Olympic match. In fact, when they went on to get goal in 2010, they've previously managed that feat, and here against France, they've managed to register a variety of goals. So it has come at the cost of 2 at the other end. So still plenty for Canada, of course, to work on, but credit for France and the way they've kept at this one, even right till the end here. Desperate to try and make a power play come off. Bertrand. Blocked well by Doughty. Sent up the ice. Final 30 seconds of the power play into the final minute of the match. Bosk driving down the centre. Interception comes through. Horvat able to get around Bosk, who does well on the retreat. Reitz sending it back through. Almost a combination coming off between him and Florent Douay. As Canada get back to full strength, which means that sending that puck forward in the way they did will now be an icing call at full strength. Well, the captain's night, Sidney Crosby, a legend of the game, aged 38, and half his age, Macklin Celebrini, lighting Milano Cortina, the pair of them, fabulous to see alongside one another in Canada jerseys. Excellent turn of speed from Hagel to create the chance in front for Bennett. France were able to get the sticks in front, and it's a very sloppy line change from Canada that presents the chance for France. Bennington to the rescue with the last attack of the match. And quite the match it has been, as Canada hit double figures to round off their preliminary stage ties with 3 from 3. Another dogged display from the French, plenty of spirit and heart throughout their campaign, despite the fact it ends pointless. But Canada's world-class roster, unfazed in the 3 matches that they've played, maximum points from it, and that means no one will stop them as they march into the knockout phase. Canada 10, France 2, the final game for these 2 teams in Group A. Well, plenty of NHL jerseys in the crowd. The Penguins jersey for that man Crosby. And the Oilers man McDavid. It's only going to get bigger and bigger for Canada as they go through this tournament. And it'll be intriguing to see how that amazing talent clicks together in their pursuit of gold in Milano Cortina. Record-breaking night for Sidney Crosby. 15 points now across his Olympic appearances. No one has done more for Canada in Olympic tournaments with NHL players. Game in Group A for Canada and for France, and it did not disappoint. Not a great deal on the line in terms of progress into the next phase of the competition. Canada knew fate was in their own hands, but they were able to grab 10 goals over the course of the match. It wasn't without an early scare. France were quick to level proceedings. Delight for Florent Douay. But Canada and their class told throughout, an array of different scorers, with Wilson, Tays, Stone on the shorthand there making it. There's a penalty shot goal for Macklin Celebrini that made it 5-1 after he was denied moments before from Florian Shakriashvili. Sidney Crosby, and then Conor McDavid, the super right at the top of the world game, arriving to the party to get on the scoreboard. Shot out of the blue from Sacha Trey got France their second goal of the match, and in the end Canada hitting 10 past France. Well, Canada saw all 5 of their first-line skaters getting on the score sheet, with Macklin Celebrini, the only one in the team, managing to get a brace. Elsewhere, Hagel, Stone, Crosby and Horvat scoring, with Crosby's 2 assists to boot, meaning he now becomes the record breaker for Canada. 15 points scored in Olympic matches for him across the 3 games he's competed in. So the shorthanded goal for Canada at the end of the first period opened up the 2-goal buffer. It was raining shots throughout, with France changing their goaltenders Antoine Keller into the firing line at the end to replace Juncker. 3 from 3 for Canada. A near perfect record despite the 3 goals conceded in the last 2 matches. Switzerland second after the overtime victory against Czechia. France pointless, but plenty of pride and credit after their Group A performances.
Dowdy tried to get that through, and it hit Junka. And McDavid couldn't find the loose puck at the side. Wilson comes up with it. He'll fire it back. Dowdy shooting. Kicked away. Rebound. Scores. Tom Wilson on the board.
That's Tom Wilson's kind of goal. He needs that to feel good about his game. Forecheck, win a physical battle, and get to the front of the net. He does them all. As puck is worked out right there as Wilson knocks the cost off the puck, gets it out to Drew Doughty, then turns back to the net. Doughty, I don't know if this pass off the pads or not, but he puts it down low where Junka can't control it. And Tom Wilson gets his first Olympic goal and a smile. Or his version of a smile.
On the score sheet as well. That, by the way, the first assist for Doughty in the tournament. Here's a chance, rebound, scores! And France has come right back on a goal by Flurry and Douay. 13 seconds later, a stunning return of fire by the French.
The fourth line goes to work, and Cole Parayko, that is a terrible pass. Just not very on it, and then he gets back to the front of the net, staring at the puck, doesn't look for Douay's stick, gets past his skate, and Douay able to corral the rebound and throw it in the empty net, but just a really tough turnover for Parayko. Kicked it right out to Adamo, and the rebound, similar kind of goal to Tom Wilson, pass off the pads and a rebound to tie it up.
So a short-lived celebration for Team Canada. Back to even in the goal differential. Here comes Crosby over the line. On the move is Taves working in. Marner can't reach it. Knocked away, and Bertrand starts back. Here's Bertrand. He corkscrews himself into the
got two,
ice.
got three.
And yes, it'll be Crosby. It'll be Stone. And Taves. Come on, Taves scores. And maybe the shootout's begun. An answer 39 seconds after the French had tied it.
Maybe it is the floodgates. As Makar pokes it out, Cale Makar gets it to Crosby. Crosby kicks it back to Devon Taves. And what's great about Taves here, he doesn't try to overpass. He doesn't try to thread one to the back door. He says, I'm 20 feet away. I got it. I can shoot and score from here. And he goes blocker side underneath the arm of Junka. And Canada right back in front again.
DaCosta. Texier. And that's stolen by Stone. Mark Stone's in. Looking for a short-handed goal. Scores! And Canada has a 2-goal lead.
Mark Stone with that great stick in the neutral zone, laughing at his breakaway speed. The guys on the bench are laughing about his breakaway speed. But he was fast enough, like he always is. Texier, tough turnover there. Bosk is trying to catch him. Mark Stone protects it. I don't know, maybe fans on that one as he cuts underneath it, but he gets it above the pad and below the glove of Junka, and that's a huge goal, Chris. Make it 3, just 3 seconds left on the clock. You weren't sure if he's going to get caught. Can he get the shot away? But he is just fast enough to be wherever he needs to be, whenever he needs to get there.
Wilson went after Crino, sending a message, dropping the gloves. and Crino hanging in. Well, Wilson desperately trying to get up and get restarted. And he might. Look out. Well, they'll debate it, but they'll both be heading to the dressing rooms. Something we weren't sure we were going to see. The Team Canada brass looking on. But in a 10-2 game,
I mean, Wilson wanted to go bump Crino, have a word after Crinon's high hit on McKinnon. So he does that off the face-off. Crino seemed to be pretty willing to drop the glove, surprisingly. I just don't see these things escalate like this internationally, even when you want to.
Anyway, it happens in a 10-2 game, but the message gets sent that Tom Wilson's not going to be shy about fighting in international hockey.
Got to make sure you're eligible to play next game, though. Tom Wilson's an important part of this team. He's Connor McDavid's winger.
Penalties on the play. Canada, number 43, has 2 minutes for roughing and 5 minutes for fighting. France, number 7, has 2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting.
So they were going to give them
game misconduct with the fights.
Coincidental minors. Now, in the international hockey, if you get a fight, there's also a game misconduct that's automatically applied, so you don't get to stay in there. So here goes Wilson. The first hit, a little extra shove, and both guys know what's happening here. And Wilson got his off quickly, and then Crino just sort of tugged him down in response to this fight. We were wondering if anything like this with Tom Wilson would come up during the Olympics. And Crino apologized to McKinnon, but that wasn't enough for Tom Wilson. And Wilson, we showed him talk to the French bench. As long as he could play next game, Chris, not a problem.